cash, citizenship, a ticket out of poverty. Russia is now recruiting battle-hardened Yemeni fighters for the war in Ukraine, offering life-changing money in exchange for a place on the front lines. But as more men disappear into the conflict, families are asking a chilling question. Are they being recruited or sacrificed? As the Russia-Ukraine war refuses to die down, Moscow has reportedly started recruiting Yemeni fighters to join the war in Ukraine by offering large cash payments, high monthly salaries, and the promise of Russian citizenship, Middle East Eye reported, citing sources. Sources told Middle East Eye,
young men who once fought on the front lines in Taiz, Marib, or along the Saudi border, either for Houthi forces, Yemeni government forces, or UAE-backed militias, are being offered high salaries and bonuses that dwarf military pay in Yemen, turning Russia's war into a lucrative and often deadly escape from poverty.
Family members and former comrades of Yemeni fighters who travelled to Russia said the financial incentives being offered far exceed salaries available inside Yemen's collapsing economy. One former Yemeni soldier, identified as Fawzi, said a group of fighters he served alongside in the Republican Guard decided to travel to Russia during 2025 after being contacted by intermediaries already operating there.
Recruits were promised an upfront payment of $15,000, monthly salaries of $5,000, and the possibility of obtaining Russian citizenship. We tried to advise them, telling them that the fighting there is dangerous, but they confirmed they had enough experience to join any front line in the world. When I was told about these offers, I myself thought about joining the battles in. But when I saw that almost none of my colleagues had returned, I dismissed it, realizing that those financial rewards would be paid with my blood.
Reports of Yemenis travelling to fight for Russia first emerged after Moscow's invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Earlier recruitment waves reportedly involved individuals who believed they were travelling for civilian work opportunities, including jobs on farms and in restaurants. However, sources now say that many recent recruits are fully aware they are being sent directly to the front lines in Ukraine. Several Yemeni fighters currently in Ukraine have reportedly begun posting videos and messages on social media describing harsh battlefield conditions and warning others not to come. Some accounts claim Yemeni recruits are prevented from leaving combat zones until they complete one-year military contracts with the Russian armed forces. One Yemeni mother, identified as Tawhid, said,
"My son was fighting on the border with Saudi Arabia, but 5 months ago I was shocked to discover he had traveled to fight in Unja. I was not happy to hear that, and I asked his wife to tell him to return, but I was told it was impossible. One day I heard Tawhid's wife crying and shouting. At that point I knew Tawhid had been killed. My last hope was to see his dead body, but that was also impossible."
Families across Yemen have increasingly voiced concern over the growing flow of fighters heading to Russia, although economic desperation continues to drive recruitment. Analysts say Yemen's worsening economic collapse, irregular salary payments, and years of war have created conditions where foreign recruitment networks can easily exploit experienced fighters desperate for income. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has acknowledged that foreigners are fighting in Ukraine, but denied that Russia forces anyone to join the conflict against their will. Now, as Yemen's war-torn generation becomes increasingly entangled in another devastating conflict thousands of kilometers away, the human cost of poverty, war, and foreign recruitment networks is stretching far beyond the borders of both Yemen and Ukraine.
Russia's military recruited 417,000 contract soldiers in 2025, according to former President Dmitry Medvedev, who now serves as chairman of the Security Council. Speaking at a meeting of the powerful government body, Medvedev said the recruitment effort was supported by what he described as the patriotism of citizens who chose to enter military service. He added that a further 36,000 people volunteered to join military units this year. The figures mark a modest rise from numbers Medvedev cited just weeks earlier, when he reported 400,000 contract soldiers and about 34,000 volunteers. As with previous announcements, the data could not be independently verified. Russian authorities do not regularly release detailed information on enlistment, attrition or casualties, making official statements one of the few indicators of manpower levels. Medvedev's comments come as Russia continues to rely heavily on contract soldiers to sustain its military operations in Ukraine, avoiding large-scale mobilization measures that have proven politically sensitive in the past. Despite the headline figures, the latest recruitment numbers reflect a decline compared with last year. In 2024, Medvedev said roughly 450,000 people signed military contracts, while about 40,000 joined volunteer formations. This year's lower totals suggest recruitment momentum may be easing as the war enters another prolonged phase. The slowdown has coincided with changes at the regional level. Several Russian regions have reduced one-time enlistment bonuses for men signing military contracts, incentives that had previously played a significant role in attracting recruits. Those reductions come amid mounting budget pressures in some regions, even as federal defense spending remains a priority for the Kremlin. The recruitment drive is closely linked to President Vladimir Putin's broader military objectives. In 2024, Putin ordered Russia's armed forces to expand active personnel to 1.5 million by 2026, one of the largest force targets since the Soviet era. In August, Defense Minister Andrei Belousov said recruitment goals for contract service were generally being met, signaling official confidence that the expansion remains achievable. However, officials have not detailed how ongoing combat losses, contract renewals, or retention rates factor into those targets. For the Kremlin, maintaining troop numbers through voluntary enlistment remains a delicate balance between sustaining the war effort and limiting domestic backlash. As the conflict continues with no clear end in sight, Russia's recruitment figures offer a window into both the scale of its military ambitions and the constraints it faces in replenishing its forces year after year.